as well as there's a pin in this bag to Miss Lovely. It is really an honor to be here and to see this great development here with Health Corps Clinic. I remember when it was Center for Health and Wellness, and I ran a summer job program here in Wichita, and this was one of our work sites where we had young people from all different income levels coming here to not only help out but also learn about some of the health needs in our community. And this clinic does so much for this community and to help out the city. So I definitely want to applaud that. This is wonderful. And before I leave, since I was asked to recognize, we have our lovely Senator Aletha Fausto. We have Judge Gwen Berzer here. And of course, former Councilwoman Lavonta Williams, my wonderful predecessor, whose footsteps I follow. But once again, it is an honor to be here today. Left City Council meeting, it came right here just to make sure that I was here for this. And also, our County Commissioner, Dave Underwood. All right, thank you all. And again, it's an honor to be here.
Thank you, guys. First, I'd like to humbly say that if it wasn't for him who brought us sunshine right now,
Amen.
none of us would be standing here today. I can tell you that there were times that it got really, 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 really tough. And even today with the rain, we were a little afraid. But I'm so thankful to have so many beautiful individuals here today in honor of what we've done for the past in the community and what we're going to do in the future. But before I get started, I wanted to make certain that I pointed out a few very important people that have been instrumental to not only the clinic in the past, but also in the future. Dr. Duggan, I had his attention for a while. So Dr. Duggan, and then Jamil Moody, if you could come a little close too. I want to tell you about Dr. Duggan. So Dr. Duggan has served, I'm sorry, I'm moving it to the side because I'm going to have them rotate over this way with me, but Dr. Duggan has served as the founding medical director of the Center for Health and Wellness 20 years ago. And I like to think, you're like 16 when you started, right? 16 years old, Biggie Hauser. And he served here at the clinic, and not only did he serve with a level of, with providing quality care, but a level of compassion and commitment to the community. I became a patient here in 2004 which is so funny, I can do this now, my son. He was diagnosed with asthma when he was 4 years old, and I didn't have insurance coverage, and it was very difficult for me to be able to get the care that I needed, especially being new to the city of Wichita. And someone told me about the Center for Health and Wellness, and I came here to the clinic, and not only was I provided wonderful care, but they took great care and concern. They educated me and my entire family on asthma. And to this day, my son is standing here now, which I tell the story all the time, but he's never there. But he's standing there as a soccer player, a football player. He plays the tenor saxophone, so his asthma is under control. And I am so thankful. He's 16 now. He was 4 then when I started out here as a patient here at the clinic. And going back to Dr. Duggan, so he probably, about a year and a half ago, I was really struggling with what we were going to do here at the clinic when it comes to medical. And I'm not a medical person, I'm a social worker. I care. And Dr. Duggins came to me and he asked me what could he do. And when he came, I gave him a tour of the clinic, and he was giving me a tour of the clinic. And he was passing on the history of why Health Corps Clinic is important to our community and why we're here. And I was so very thankful that I'm going to ask our board to nominate Dr. Duggins for board member emeritus status.
Oh, man.
That for as long as this organization stands, he will always have a voice at the table because he has poured into 3 CEOs, so Arnetha Martin, Beverly White, and myself over the last 20 years. And he's still here. He's still standing. We're still standing. Thank you. So this is your community, and everybody's like, oh, Dr. Duggins is my doctor. So I don't know if you want to address your patient panel here.
I just want to say that it's great to see so many people here on behalf of Health Corps. It's a progress that's taking place every single year. It's taking great leadership from people like Teresa and the ones before her, Arnitha Martin. One of the biggest leadership team that was here that got this place going was the Black Nurses Association, for those of you who don't know. They went day and night looking around trying to find partners in the community to organize with, WSU, KU, a lot of the businesses, the Chamber of Commerce, everyone were involved in trying to get this place going. And we want to just say thank you for all their contribution, because without them we wouldn't be here today. And we will continue with a bright future because we have people like Dr. Lennox over here in our dental department, and Dr. Friend over here in the family health department. And we're working on some of our other physicians like Daniel Villalobos and Heather still over there to try and get continue our international refugee outreach. So Center for Health and Wellness is just merged into the Health Corps, a future that looks great to me. So I was glad to be part of it, and I'll continue to be here to help as much as I'm needed. Thank you.
Amen.
The other person I wanted to also thank I'm always respectful of the past. And so with Arnitha Martin and Bud Gates, who were the original founders of the Center for Health and Wellness, Arnitha couldn't be here today, but her daughter's here, Cynthia Martin. So if you can come join me here. And Bud Gates, he talked to me about 15 minutes before I came downstairs and sent me some wonderful pictures where he was at, and he told me that you go, girl. You just go down there and you tell them that this place is important to our community. You tell them that it's built on a solid foundation. You tell them that they planted incredible seeds in the past. And so imagine that building over there, and this is what grew from the seeds that they planted 20 years ago. And so I'm honored to be here and be with you. If you'd like to say something on behalf of Arnitha.
So I wasn't planning on this, but what I will say on behalf of my mother is she would be proud.
Amen.
We just moved her to Florida because she is suffering with dementia.
Amen.
But some of the things that you said, care that is good enough for me, that was my mother's vision. She tells the story often that all of this grew in her mind from 1962 when she had my sister. She went to Wesley Medical Center and she got substandard care because she was a 16-year-old pregnant black child. The care was inadequate, and her vision was for all of Northeast Wichita to have care good enough for them. And I'm so proud to see it.
Yes.
You guys are doing great. It's been a year and a half since I've been in Wichita, and when I came down 21st Street, bragging to one of my friends, that's my mother's clinic right there. And I was like, oh my God, what have they done? It's beautiful. I'm proud to see where it has evolved to. You're doing a fabulous job. She will be so proud. I will tell her about it as soon as I get home. You guys keep doing what you're doing. Take care of this community, because we are all the way.
I stand on great shoulders. Oh yeah. And so part of that hard work you guys talked about, how can you quit when you're standing on such phenomenal shoulders and you're standing on, I call it sacred ground.
Yes.
Sacred ground, because there are so many Arnithas out there, so many in our community that show up at the front door of this clinic that needs help. And a lot of times people don't know what they need. And if you come to this clinic and just start with help or hello, we'll do our very best to make certain that you get access to whatever services you need. We have different opportunities for you to qualify for services, and if you don't have insurance, don't let that be that one thing that doesn't get you access to care. Sorry. Over the last 20 years, we've actually given back almost $7 million of charity care to this community.
Amen.
$7 million. $7 million. The building's 10 million, so if we would have deducted, if we would have charged, we'd have like 3 million. Mikhail, we could have done this without financing, no? But it was an honor to be able to give that level of care and service back to the community. Next, I wanted to thank Jamil Moody. So Jamil Moody hired me as the CEO. He was our former board chairperson. And I'll never forget when we were there. I was a board member also. And so we were sitting there going, what are we going to do? What's going to happen? And I told them I would only take the job if I was the best person qualified for the job. And I'll never forget being a patient here, serving on the board, and then stepping into the CEO role. People think this job's easy. Because at the end of the day, you have the level of patient care that you're responsible for.
Amen.
You have a wonderful team of employees that you're responsible for. We have stakeholders that we're responsible for. And then the big stakeholder we're responsible for. And then we have lenders. We have all these incredible people that we're responsible to. So this is a very heavy load sometimes. But you have to take it with a humble heart. And you have to use your heart to make the decisions that impact so many. And so, Jamel, I'm so very thankful that you believed in me enough in 2011, January. I was 9 months pregnant with this one. He's like, Mama, stop talking. I started the job 9 months pregnant with him.
Amen.
And I didn't know a whole bunch about healthcare. At that point, I worked on the mental health side because I'm a social worker, but I cared. And so, thank you, Jamil. Thank you for giving me that opportunity. You guys want to give them a
Yay!
And then, if there are any board members, if you guys can kind of step forward, anybody ever served on the board of the Center for Health and Wellness Health Corps Clinic, if you are out there, please move forward. I want to thank you so very much for your time and service and commitment and leadership, being a part of such an incredible organization that's been able to give so much back to its community. Oh,
I'm about to pass completely out of here.
so anyone who has served on the board, all the board members, there you go.
They said you was out.
And Theola Cooper is one of our founding board members
Yay!
with the Black Nurses Association. So to our board, so as a community health center, you have to have a non-for-profit board. 51% of our board members are representatives from the community that we serve. And we go and we have other board members who are not part of the community, but the majority of the board and any vote, any decision made is made by consumers and board members that participate in the services that are provided at the clinic. So I want you guys to know that with their leadership, we've been able to not only do the work that we do, but it informs us on the care that we provide. So the fact that we have medical, we have dental, we have pharmacy, we have behavioral health, we have expungements, we have the second chance job fair, we have a medication assisted treatment program, we have wellness programs. All these different things is because we have a very informed board that, again, participates in the services here at the clinic. And then we have attorneys on our board. We have individuals that just bring such a wealth of knowledge, HR, besides theater, Tim's also Northwestern Mutual, so to help us build a reserve to help us pay for the facilities. So, and Ryan, marketing. So we have such an incredible board. So if we can give them a round.
Yay! Yes. Okay, boo-boo. Teresa?
The next group of individuals I wanted to acknowledge was our community partners. So we partner with KU Medical School, KU School of Pharmacy, KU School of Social Work, the other one, KU School of Psychiatry. So we have psychiatry services here at the clinic. So we have all these wonderful different programs at University of Kansas. We also have WSU, College of Health Professions, and other programs. Newman University, their social work program. We also have the health department that we work with and partner on different programs to provide care to our community. So we are so very thankful for all of our university partners. So not only do they inform us and keep us up to date on the different trends and changes in healthcare, but they also provide that additional support I remember even Dr. Emerson coming over when we were going, we can put a pharmacy in the clinic and walk in the space with me visually on the blueprints and kind of informing what could happen. Dr. Bibbs, Sandra Bibbs from WSU's College of Health Professions, she worked with us to make certain that we put a classroom in the clinic so that we could have integrated classes here at the clinic. So we got students walk over from WSU right here and take a class in the clinic. And the original Center for Health and Wellness was built on education. There was an education room on the other side of the building. There was a classroom in the basement of the building. So we've moved forward with that classroom as well. Let's see, Cardinal Health. The reason why we do have a pharmacy is because we've had business partners that have worked with us as well. And so Cardinal Health actually worked with us to further develop our pharmacy so that we can bring low-cost pharmaceutical services to the community. Business partners. So I want to recognize BKD. BKD, was it Scott Gold? I remember when we were in the basement it was probably 11 p.m. at night because we were wondering what we were going to do with the finances of the clinic. Remember that, Jamel? and Scott came down and not only did he, there you go, Scott, not only did he come all the way from Springfield, Missouri to kind of help us, but he's kept us informed and really provided leadership in a way that's just unheard of from a financial perspective so we could actually do something like this. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Allie.